Cash now as head of the FBI and Dan Bongino as deputy director. A lot of people are posting on X. They're like, why aren't they doing anything? I want the files. I want the arrest. And they're angry. I just hope everyone realizes by taking those positions, they have put themselves in front of Donald Trump. They're in the line of fire. Deep state actors arrested his lawyers, his people who worked on his campaign. Yep. They arrested his valet, as Josie mentioned earlier. They arrested him. They lied about him. They smeared him. They accused him of sexual assault and felonies and fraud. When Cash and Dan took that position, the question was simple. Will you take a job knowing that if you fail it, they will destroy everything you know and love?
There's a possibility that when this administration is over, if the Democrats win, there's a significant possibility that all the people in this administration become targets of the.
They'll go to jail. It'll be prison.
You know?
Yeah, like if Cash and Dan do not succeed in their efforts, if Kristi Noem and Trump do not succeed in their efforts, when this is over, Trump's going to prison. They're going to go after Cash and Dan. They're going to accuse them of illegal activities. They're going to accuse them of weaponizing government. This is the thing people need to understand. I don't care what Democrats are saying. They're lying. They've been lying. The arrest of these judges, we can see why. Now, let's see them convicted, of course, in a court of law with the evidence. But we know for a fact the Biden administration has, the Democrats can and will go after their political opponents unjustly. So, yeah, I firmly believe that if in the end, in 4 years from now, the Trump administration accomplished nothing, they failed to deport, Democrats win back power, they will convene panels and hearings. They will immediately indict Cash and Dan and whoever else and say that they were working alongside a criminal government under Trump. They'll begin using that pretext to reverse Trump policies, bring people back. They're going to say, I mean, this has just begun, right? But take a look at the Abrego Garcia story, where they're lying to insinuate this man is an American citizen by saying he's a Maryland man. They will create a false history where they will say to Kristi Noem, you oversaw the illegal kidnapping and rendition of a Maryland resident to a torture dungeon. Jail. It's gonna be like in Dark Knight Rises, when you've got the court of the people, and they just bring people in and they're like, you're guilty.
Oh, kangaroo courts. Those always concern me. The idea of fast tracking courts. I think it's going to be if you give it 8 years, you take 8 years of economic reform, and we're actually getting bread cheaper. I think that the people will be on the side of what's happening right now.
I think, when I talk to these classic libs, I did a sit down with the trigonometry guys a while ago. I don't know when they're putting that interview up. But even Rogan, to a certain degree, they live in this world of if Trump does something that is over the line, Democrats will do it next and they'll do it to you. And it's like, I don't think they understand. The Democrats are going to do it no matter what we do.
Josie, you said constitutional crisis. And I know it just sounds like, okay, we've been in so many crises these days, but that's like a big deal as far as I can tell. I mean,
it's the loophole. They were able to put all of these federal judges in. This is why elections are important, because this.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that was my phone's AI just picked up and started talking to me, and I have the volume down.
Creepy.
Sorry about that, Josie.
That's okay.
Was it trying to get into the conversation and argue something?
Yeah, it was like, Ian, shut up. No, I don't know. I just shut it off. I don't know what it was saying.
It was like, Ian, you're rolling ones.
It's like, Ian,
sounds like you're
for the Culture War Live. We're getting little signs printed up that are D20s, and on one side is a 1 and the other side is a 20.
Yeah.
So when people are debating, people can hold them up.
Oh, holler.
Yeah.
Okay, Josie, sorry. That was a...
I completely forgot what I was saying.
That was the technocrats that did that.
He was asking about the constitutional crisis and what it means.
Okay, so they were able to get all of these federal judges in, and I said this is why elections are important, because the Senate confirms the judges. So Mitch McConnell, for all of his faults, and there are many, 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 many faults, he did get 10,000 conservative judges approved in his time. So that's great. That was
but I don't know how much that means, because are they populist judges or are they elitist uniparty shill conservatives?
It's probably a mix, I would guess. But they're not progressive judges, which we have seen the progressive judges. And that's the thing, because,
So intervention, but no sterilizing kids?
Pretty much.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's
like
not,
they're both really bad.
Yeah. It's not great. We're not in a great place. But they were able to find this sort of loophole in the Constitution, which is one of the very few that I see personally that can't be remedied. And they were able to exploit it by putting all their people in and saying there's no repercussions. You're never going to impeach these
Pack the
people.
courts. Mm-hmm. I pack the court right now, because if Trump doesn't, Democrats will.
The Supreme Court?
That's the last place.
No,
The Supreme Court is the last place that's not completely captured. We still have, I mean, it's not looking good with how Amy Coney Barrett's been and how Justice Robert has been. We could look at it and say, okay, well, it does look like it's 4-5 right now, but packing it is we're going to pack it. Say they put 14 in. The Democrats are going to get in power and they'll put 19 in.
It'll be endless.
And that's gonna slow down rulings. That's gonna make things chaotic. And in that time, when there are 19 Democratic judges sitting on there, Second Amendment is gone.
So here's the issue. The way it was supposed to work in this country is that there was a federal circuit for each Supreme Court justice. We had 9 circuits, so we have 9 justices. However, we added more states and expanded the territories, and now we have 13 circuits and still 9 justices, which means John Roberts oversees the 4th, Clarence Thomas the 11th, Alito the 3rd, Sotomayor oversees the 1st and the 2nd. You've got Kagan for the 5th, Gorsuch for the 10th, Kavanaugh for the D.C. Circuit, Amy Coney Barrett for the 7th Circuit, and Ketanji Brown Jackson for the 6th. The 9th Circuit is usually assigned to Kagan as well, but sometimes gets reassigned. So the argument from Democrats during Biden and during Obama was, we better pack the courts. We need 4 more justices right now so that there's a justice for each federal circuit. Trump must do this, in my opinion.
Well, some of those circuits are different sizes of people. So smashing 2 smaller circuits together might make sense. Maybe that's how they're doing it. And so to add another judge that has a small circuit wouldn't make any sense.
Don't care.
I think that the Supreme Court's kind of whack in general.
If Trump does not do it, Democrats will. I believe it is a 100% chance if Democrats at any point regain power, the first thing they'll do is pack the court.
They will. They will pack the court.
Because they will say never again to Donald Trump. And we can ensure this if we give ourselves a bulletproof majority in the Supreme Court. And then they're going to just ram through law by SCOTUS ruling, which is unconstitutional and shouldn't be done.
I mean, it's clear that the Democrats do want like single party rule. They don't see the value of having opposing viewpoints at all. And you see it in the way the party acts, like the people on the ground act. They excommunicate people for having the wrong opinion. If you have a dissenting opinion, they're like, oh well, you're persona non grata.
They're
we'll cancel
a
you. And so it stands to reason that they would see government like that as a good thing. Even though you can look at a state like California, which has that single party rule, and see all the massive problems. Even though the governor is trying to walk away from that kind of constantly only listening to people in his own party. I mean, maybe it's for cynical reasons because he's looking to be the president, but it still doesn't change the fact that people are leaving California. There are people that are constantly criticizing California's government because it's failing the people.
You're making me think of David Hogg as you were talking about that, because he's DNC not head of DNC, like number 2, vice chair of the DNC, and they're looking to push the guy out because he challenged the uniparty, basically like, welcome to the Democratic Party, bro. Super delegates, you have no power in that party. They pick and choose.
Funny. I love it,
and I'm glad that it's Hogg because he's got a lot of influence. He has a very liberal upbringing and has been through a shocking experience at Parkland with the school shooting that he was a part of, involved in, and it just transformed his.
Wait, what?
He was there when it happened.
Oh, he wasn't
there. Oh, I thought he was in the school.
At home.
Okay, so
he rode his bike to the school.
One of the more vocal people involved with that, coming out of it.
Let's clarify. I believe he was somewhere at the school, nowhere near the shooting, and went home. And then when he found out that they were doing interviews, he jumped on his bike and went as fast as he could to the school to give interviews.
I think he's going to be somebody. I have a lot of compassion for him in general, just because I think he's going to be someone that is going to have an arc where he leaves the Democratic Party and realizes how vile it was, and then just starts speaking out about what he believes. And that's a good opportunity to.
That's a very charitable position to hold.
Yeah, like look at the way they're treating that. He's like Bernie. He's not Bernie Sanders. He's getting the Bernie Sanders treatment right now, from what I can tell.
Well, like the DNC, there's a reason though. But the DNC is supposed to worry about getting Democrats elected over Republicans, not which Democrats are, are in positions of power. Like once you've got a Democrat in a seat, to challenge that seat and possibly lose that seat because of the challenge is a bad thing for the vice chair of the Democrat DNC to do.
Just for the sake of clarity, he was David Hogg was at the school during the shooting. They heard gunshots and were redirected by a janitor and then hid a culinary arts teacher, sheltered them in a closet. He filmed a bunch of videos, got out safely, and went home, and then rode his bike back to the school after dark and gave interviews.
Okay.
Okay,
It's, when I was younger too, it's easy to be like, use socialism to try and solve problems. But, you learn as you get older a lot of times that you got to take personal responsibility and protect your local environment. And if everyone's doing that, you don't really need socialism because you're all working together through this decentralized unity to protect the environment.
I say we just rapidly introduce Neuralink AI technology as fast as we can, and bestow it upon Democrats. They'll be happy, and then they'll live in the pod and eat the bugs.
Or we could not.
What do you mean?
That sounds like a terrible idea.
To have all the Democrats choose to go into the pods and eat the bugs and leave us alone?
I mean,
that resolves all problems for everybody. Trans people can live in a reality where they're women, and then they're not voting in our elections. The right can have babies and live and go to church. Everybody's happy.
I feel like you're just trying to make the Borg.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I didn't say they would have any control over these environments.
Somebody would have control.
Like, bro, if you ever when you know what happens when you're playing in World of Warcraft and you try using mods to cheat, the admins come and boot you out of the game. So they'll have no authority over it. It'll be run by us, and we'll say, don't worry, we will do everything in our power to make sure you're happy and comfortable as you own nothing, live in the pod and eat the bugs. But don't worry. Don't feel shame from living in the pod and eating the bugs, because in your private little universe, you're the dragon slayer Vanmark who rides at night and shines the golden sword.
They'd all be just perverse
Sure.
furries. They'd all be just disgusting.
Well, but true, but sometimes it would be perverted, disgusting garbage as they pretend to be Vanmark, the paladin of the
So
dragon.
hypothetical, if there was like a political movement that took on Neuralink and then they had a hive mind, would you then take on a hive mind with another movement to try and challenge it?
No.
Because I feel like it's an unstoppable force, a hive mind. Like the Borg is unstoppable almost.
No, the vulnerability of hive minds is the susceptibility of viruses. The strength of a decentralized system is if a portion of that decentralized system is corrupt, it doesn't spread as rapidly and can be prevented.
I feel like David Hogg's loyalties, he wouldn't become a libertarian. He wouldn't become a conservative. He'd get more radical to the left. I feel like he would have a better chance of becoming Hitler than Donald Trump.
I agree completely. No, but I mean that legitimately. When I see someone who I view as has the potential to be really Hitler-esque, it's David Hogg.
Yes.
He is a narcissistic sociopath who is driven by attention and power. He doesn't care what's true, because if he did, he'd look up what's true, or he knows it's true and he's lying intentionally for power. So he comes off as really sociopathic and on a quest for power.
He's
AOC as well.
He's kind of young. Hogg is what is he, like
Yeah.
24 at this point? 24. He's still got time. Give it like 3 or 4 years. I was definitely like not a communist, but I was like, we can all do this together. We are all one. Follow me. I will save us. Revolution, that kind of mindset up until like age 29 when I realized like, oh, we can 3D print guns. You can't control people anymore. I think Hogg, hopefully it's kind of like, it's not predestined, we can have him here on a show. You can have conversations with them. We change together, but he is like the kind of guy that's super influential. And if you just send him off into the nether to go build a movement alone with his cohorts, it could be very dangerous.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.